So, it's time to take a closer look at the new top tier premium platoon, the T-72B. Now this vehicle in general has been really nice. I enjoyed it a lot. The addition, the upgrade over the T-72A is okay, it's decent. The ATGMs definitely are quite powerful, and the primary AP ammo is also really decent. This vehicle has a 125mm main cannon. It is fast, 60 km/h is the top speed. The notoriously slow reverse speed is still the same, 4 km/h. Average penetration of 550mm, reload 7.1 seconds. It obviously has a autoloader since it only has 3 crew members. And the overall maneuverability is okay if we ignore the notoriously bad reverse speed, which will be a thing for the next couple, for the next couple vehicles of this type. But the turret armor and the frontal armor is very tough, very tough turret. And the weak spot obviously will be the lower plate, and the gun itself can be easily broken. Now, the T-64BV, a upgrade T-64, it has the same main gun. Overall, it does feel like the same vehicle, same very bad reverse speed. The T-64 is a little bit lighter, and it does seem to be a little bit more protected. Both vehicles have good hit and ATGM protection. Tandem ATGMs will go through the armor, by the way, since the tandem missiles have a secondary charge and they are able to penetrate a lot of armor. So tandem missiles is one of the things that you might not stop with your explosive armor on these vehicles, but the classic ATGMs and even the normal hit and hit FS shells will be stopped. Now, I've been looking at the graphics a lot, and I think when I turn off the advanced mode, the game looks sharper. I don't know, should I keep the advanced settings on? Does it actually make the game look nicer? Honestly, I don't really know. But do tell me in the comments down below, should I use the advanced settings? Does it actually make the picture clearer? Does it make the picture look nicer? I honestly, personally, I don't know. I would say the game does appear to be sharper with the advanced settings off, but you tell me what you think about that. But let's go and play the new platoon. I'll be playing the T-72 and the T-64 in the same video here, because they're practically almost the same vehicle. Well, let me go to my favorite position on this map. You can't really go anywhere else with this vehicle, since the notoriously bad reverse speed will kind of prevent you from playing this vehicle in a more active way. If we can hide the vehicle properly, and if we can just expose a little bit of the vehicle to the enemy, it should work just fine. But rushing around with the T-72 and with the T-64BV is kind of a thing that I personally don't really like to do, because again, you can't really go backwards. The reverse is bad, and in top tier you have to play tactical. You can't just rush around and run around, and it just so happens that I have a bunch of targets over here. Usually I go here. It's one of the best positions where you can go to. I mean, honestly, one of the probably one of the best positions where you can go to on this side of the map. Okay, it was a nice hit with the ATGM. The ATGM on this vehicle is very nice, very useful. If there is anything that's amazing on these vehicles, it's definitely the fact that you can launch ATGMs with the main cannon. The firepower aspect of this vehicle is really good, so you won't be struggling with the main gun on this vehicle. At least it doesn't have any active protection system like we have seen on the T-55 AMD. Although I'm fairly sure some of the more modernized versions of the T-72 will have a active protection system. I actually expect a premium platoon to be released with the T-72 with a active protection system. Personally, I don't know when, that's just my speculation, but I'm fairly sure we might see that at one point in the game. And the T-80 is also going to be at it a little bit down the road, probably one of the normal tier 10 platoons down the road. The M1 Abrams should be the next tier 10, but we will see. We will see what will happen when the next update is launched. The reverse, while being bad, it's just undeniable that the reverse speed on this vehicle is pretty bad. You can still use that to go back to cover if you are well protected. If you don't rush forward too much, you can still hide the vehicle in a very effective way. And this is practically what I'm doing right now. If you want to go forward with this vehicle, you can, if you want, of course. You can play this vehicle a bit more aggressively if you like, but you have to keep in mind that you cannot go back in reverse if you have to. Other tier 10 vehicles do have a usable reverse gear and do have usable reverse speed in general, but not the T-72 and not the T-64BV. They won't be able to go back to cover if you mess up the same way that the other main battle tanks can. However, these vehicles do have some good armor. The turret armor, I would definitely put more attention to the turret armor. If we can go hold down with these vehicles, the turret armor will be quite tough to go through. The turret can bounce. It doesn't have a weak spot in the turret, but the weak spot is small, and usually when the turret is penetrated, it doesn't really cause the vehicle to blow up. However, if you get hit in the hull, and these vehicles are kind of famous for that, if you get hit in the hull, the shell usually strikes the ammo, the autoloader, which is practically in a circle below the turret of the vehicle, and that usually causes the vehicle to explode. It causes the turret to pop off. That's a thing for these vehicles that you have to keep in mind. So if you can hide the hull, it's perfect. If you can hide the lower plate, it's also perfect, because the lower plate is also I would say the lower plate is the largest weak spot, and very few vehicles can go through the frontal plate of the T-72 and the T-64. The M60AMBT, for example, can punch through the upper plate of this vehicle without problem, and Tandem APGMs will probably punch through as well. Leopard 2K also able to punch through the frontal upper plate of these vehicles, so these vehicles should technically be your primary target when you are facing them, because they pose the highest threat to your vehicle, because they can easily just punch through the armor. Now, let's go and jump in the T-64BV. As you can see, visually they are almost about the same vehicle. And I would say technically they are the same vehicle, but obviously there are some differences. The turret is different, the overall vehicle is a bit lighter. However, the maneuverability and the speed is roughly speaking the same. The vehicle is well protected against ATGMs and against HEATFS hit-based shells. However, tandem ATGMs, yeah, those will go through, so you have to make sure that the tandem ATGM carriers are your primary target. The main gun is the same 125mm, seems to be using the same ammo, same penetration value. The overall stats of this vehicle are generally the same with the T-72A. T-72B, my apologies, not A, the B variant. Which is, I would say, pretty nice. It's gameplay wise, I would say it gives the same feeling as the T-72B. It has the same reverse speed, well, although 1 km/h better, but still, it's slow. The reverse speed is still rather slow. So that's one thing to remember if you are driving this vehicle. Can you use this vehicle in a more active way? Yeah, but it does feel like these vehicles are kind of meant to be used in this way I'm using it right now. I mean, I have targets. I definitely have targets, so I can take advantage of the terrain. If you can hide the hull, it's going to work incredibly well, since the third armor on the T-64 is also really good. Both the T-72B and the T-64 seem to have very good, very tough turret armor, and if you can go hold down, then that's going to work incredibly well. The same thing as with the T-72A, the T-72B, and I believe even the previous T-64 that I played, the same thing can be said about that vehicle as well. Upper frontal plate is pretty tough, but it has the same issue with the ammo as the T-72. If you get hit in the hull, if the shell goes through, good chance that it will cause the ammo to be detonated. After all, the ammo is right below the turret. And that's what I was talking about, right in the ammo, through the lower plate or from the front plate. Doesn't really matter. If you aim at around the center of the vehicle, you will hit the ammo and the vehicle will immediately explode. That was a huge explosion, by the way. But it has a very powerful main gun. It can also launch ATGMs, about as I mentioned before, the same ammo that we see on the T-72. Top-down attack ATGMs could potentially be a problem if you get hit in the weak spot, that is. But in most cases it should not be a big problem. Okay, that worked. That worked, and now I have to repair.
We're controlling most of the zones. Most of the zones are under control.
Well, that wasn't a bad battle. It was actually really decent, I would say. Well, I guess that would be the end for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And well, with that, please stay safe. And as always, I'll see you next time.